What's good? I'm Kinell, and this is Sinister Cinema, where we get deep into the guts of the stranger side of cinema. Just letting you know with this little bit at the start that we now have a Patreon. Sub up to that and you can get all these episodes early and ad-free, so you won't even see this bit at the start. You get them a few days before the main episodes drop out. We've got some great guests coming up. We've got some studio episodes. We've got some Zoom episodes with some fantastic rappers talking about the films they love and the films that influenced them. We got a lot going on there. Plus, you get some bonus content like film reviews, all that kind of thing. I don't need to explain this to you. You know what a Patreon is. But yeah, it's patreon.com/Kinell Sinister Cinema. So check that out. Peace. Yes, people. What's good? I'm Kinell, and this is Sinister Cinema, where we get deep into the guts of the stranger side of cinema. Kinell Sinister Cinema is brought to you by Forgotten Sons Apparel. Check them out at forgottensonsapparel.co.uk. Forgotten Sons Apparel is a York-based streetwear brand drawing inspiration from alternative culture, tattoos, film, classic TV and cartoons from our childhood. In our own words, if you like our stuff half as much as we do, then we like it twice as much as you. I'm a big fan of this brand and I love the guys who make it. They've supported me for years, way before I was podcasting. They supported me in my battle rap career. You might have seen me rocking some of their garments on Don't Flop and other leagues. I love Forgotten Sons Apparel and I'm urging you all to check them out at forgottensonsapparel.co.uk. Right, now on with the show. Hey, what's good? Kinell, Sinister Cinema once again. I am Mr. Always Had a Buzz of every rhyme I wrote, and everybody want to know me like the Wi-Fi code, Kinell himself. And we're back at it. We're back on the weekly uploads. First of all, want to get some plugs off. Little hint to the guest. Well, why do I say things like that? Little hint to the guest. Fucking, you know who the guest is. It's in the title. But nonetheless, my battle with Gas Buff is out now on Don't Flop. That's a horrorcore themed bars battle. Go and check that out on the Don't Flop YouTube. You can also check out my battle with Danny Jack, where I actually did all right for a change. Very good battles. Check them out. And I've still got my battle with Melody up on the Iron Bars Patreon. I believe that is dropping on YouTube soon. If you want to catch me live, I'm going to be round Fright Fest in London all bank holiday weekend, hanging around the Imperial and that sort of thing. Apart from on the 26th, I'm nipping off because DF have a little training days tryout, open air free event on. So I'm going to do a little battle there while I'm in the area. But yeah, I said, you might know my guest from plugs, but here is Mr. the official plug himself, Troubz. How are you, lad?
It's happening. I'm good. Thank you for the little intro. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm doing fantastic. I'm really excited to get you on as a guest today because, like I dare say, a lot of people tuning in will be familiar with you and what you do as a rapper, as an artist, and significantly as the host of the Plug TV. So we always see you in front of the camera. Was very rare we get you. We see you talking about yourself.
Yeah. It's true. More time, I'm the interviewer. I'm not often the interviewee. So it's dope. I'm excited though. Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, it's some good stuff because you become you've gone on from strength to strength. I mean, like I first met you battling Cloudy and Leak Street Tunnel. That was an entertaining fucking day.
Yeah, that's a mad time to be introduced to me still.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that maybe we'll dive into that. But what you've done for the plug is you've provided a consistent media outlet for UK battle rap, which is something we've not really had. I mean, I think Battle Rap Resume and all that did really good with the kind of retrospective type stuff, but there was never any kind of like real reliable current news thing. Like obviously the plug started off as the Wiretap.
Yeah, exactly. It was more just Battle Rap Resume was one of the outlets that was out there, and I think Sarcasm City did some stuff as well before me. I thought there's not much footage from the events as well, so that's one of the things I thought, like, let's hear from the band as soon as they come off stage, and how do they feel like, and then let the fans hear a bit more insight on how do they feel before the battle, like how is their process, how do they feel about their opponents, and then I thought, let's start doing some face-offs, let's try and create some excitement for battlers and for the fans and whatnot, just creating more content. And because like even in football and whatnot, there's always like match of the day, there's a million football podcasts and whatnot, same with boxing, same with every other sport. So I feel like, why not have another out there for our thing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's something that no one has really tapped into in the UK. I think you've like provided like an outlet with what's call it, the fans can trust and all. Like,
just try to stay as unbiased as possible. Obviously, everyone says everyone's biased to what they like, of course. I've obviously got the people I like and the styles that I like and whatnot. But then, and it makes me also helped me just having to be more into battle, like constantly watching so I could stay updated to stuff and whatnot. And he actually developed my battle rap IQ, so to speak. I actually, even things that wouldn't necessarily be my style, I'm now able to appreciate a lot more because I study it a lot more and whatnot. So yeah, man, it's dope.
I mean, like as I say, like we always see you on the plug, like sort of always like at the forefront of things, like as an interviewer. And like the only time you really talk about yourself, and that's only in a certain context, is when we see you do like for a face-off or a battle you're in. And but like I don't think there's been any kind of like documentation on like your background, as it were, like, because I mean like people who aren't as familiar, like, I mean, like English is something like your fifth language or something, isn't it?
Yeah, well, not fifth, but it's definitely my third language still.
Yeah.
And
that's why it's like fascinating to me, like, because like we talk a lot about writing on this podcast, and I mean, like, it's one thing to be able to grasp a language well enough to communicate in it, but I mean, like it's a whole other level to be able to express yourself in it. And then we get to battle rap, which is where you're dealing with a level of wordplay and technical writing and like putting ideas across in a way that is insane, like in comparison to even like novel writers or poets or whatever. So to be able to do that in a third language is just does not compute for me.
Yeah, sometimes I do feel like I do have my moments where I'm like, do you know what? I already won. Like, because being able to compete with people that are writing in their first language, I already won. Like, in my mind, I already won. Like, this shouldn't be close. Like, and if so, yeah, like there's definitely the limitations and then there's the accent issues as well. Like sometimes I can't say one word after the other because it enhances the accent on the other if I say that word after that. So I've got to switch it. Like it's just so many, and my vocab is just not as. I didn't grow up here, right? I came here when I was 18 and I couldn't speak it. I couldn't speak English, so I didn't have a childhood in London. I came here as an adult.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, it's different. It's different.
So like, was it Portugal you came from?
Yeah, I was born and grew up in Portugal.
Yeah, flipping like thing about Wrexham is we've actually got like a Portuguese community, because it was like one place like that a lot of people would go over to because it was cheap to live, and there was like that's the only like sort of non-white community in Wrexham, but it is a full-on community. It's like it's like like a lot of the rap that I'd actually go to go at when I went out when I was a kid. Like it was like the DRS crew at the time, Tony Starr and all that. Like it was people who were like switching between rapping in English and Portuguese.
Oh, sick. Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, my first introduction to rap was in Portuguese. And then obviously we watched a lot of American TV. So we used to listen to a lot of American music, American rap and whatnot. But in hindsight, when I look back, I didn't understand everything they were saying. I would understand certain keywords and whatnot. So when I came here in 2006, that's when I came to London, 2006. I would say by 2008, I was listening to a lot of Tupac and Biggie and whatnot again, because I was kind of taking that. Now I can understand what they were saying. Yeah. Like, okay, now I can appreciate Tupac, Brenda's Got a Baby a bit more. Do you know what I mean? So I went back and started to listen to old school music and actually taking everything that was being said. And yeah, it's different. But obviously, yeah, I started writing and whatnot at first, all in Portuguese at first. So
yeah, so like what sort of age did you start rapping? Like,
I wrote my first verse at 14. Yeah, 14. Obviously Portuguese. That's this rapper like called. There's a few rappers that used to inspire me in Portugal. Like this guy called Sam the Kid. That was probably my first big influence. Like he taught me about multisyllabic rhyming and whatnot at 14, but obviously in Portuguese, obviously. So I was like, rah, like, and then gave it a go then.
Yeah, so flipping like I find that like what should we call it? Like I don't understand it myself, but when I speak to like people who from non-English speaking communities and like speak to rappers there, it's always like flipping, because they're coming in with the stigma of coming from their own culture. There's like a lot more sort of pressure to what should we call it? Like really be able to demonstrate the technical and performance side of things.
Yeah, now what you mean? What rapping in English? You mean?
Well, no, like even in their own languages, like just so that like, because that they've come up on like the kind, like even watching like English speaking performers, where it's not so much the use of the language, it's the power of the performance.
Yeah.
And the delivery, like, and
obviously because they went like a lot of exactly. That's it's the power of music, right? Same way when I used to listen to American music, in hindsight, I couldn't understand it, but it felt like I did back then. I never actually felt that I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
Whilst listening to a song, I always felt like if you asked me, I'll be able to tell you what Brenda's Got a Baby from Tupac was about. Obviously, by the music video and whatnot, I could tell you what the song is about. I didn't understand the word though. If you ask me to tell you the words, I can't tell you the word though. Like, and then eventually, just eventually, I then understood like. I was able to comprehend English and went back. I could actually take in everyone's okay. I was right. I did think that's exactly what the song was about, and now I can understand the actual wordplay with it and whatnot, and the storytelling, and I can appreciate that I have a layer to it. But that's the power of music. You can appreciate it without even understanding it. Like, it's mad.
That's it. Like, you know, as much as like rap is about painting pictures with words, it's like about everything else that factors into it. Like
100%. 100%. Though, even like I keep saying Tupac and Biggie because I went back to thinking, but they used to say that about both. Tupac used to feel it more, and Biggie used to appreciate the wordplay a bit more and whatnot. It's so many different layers to music. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, like, what was the kind of like sort of like scene like sort of like when you was about 14? Was there like little open mics you could jump on, or that kind of thing, or were people just like hanging out and just rapping with your mates?
Yeah, that's just school, little like spitting bars in with your friends outside and whatnot. Like that's all it was. It wasn't too deep into it. And then I remember, and then a couple people in the area then had house studios and whatnot. Like try to get a little computer, get a little microphone, have a little program, and then okay, now you can start hit record, and you're recording something over the beat and whatnot. And yeah, that's how it was. Obviously, I'm a late 80s baby, so you know that era. Like in my area, I wouldn't say eventually that the open mics and whatnot started coming a bit later, but in that era it was more just rapping outside. And if you rapped outside and you generate a buzz outside, he was known outside. That's how it was. Like that's literally how it was, man.
That's it. Like fucking, it's, some things really are fucking universal. Like,
yeah, word of mouth, man. Back then, word of mouth was strong. Like if you rap,
was there ever any kind of like sort of like battling going on, or was it about just who had the best verse, who had the best bars?
It's always a layer of a battle there, though. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's who has the best verse, but is who has we're still battling for who the best verse is. We can be rapping about trees and whatnot, but it's about who raps about trees the best, then, isn't it? Like that's what it is. So there's always an element of battling out there because everyone wants to be the best and whatnot.
That's something that rap has that other genres don't have. Like, you know, if there's three of you on the track, even if you're not like people from a battling background, you're all trying to be the best bit of that track. I don't think like, you know, that happens in other genres.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It doesn't. It doesn't.
And it's, that's what's kind of like forced the advance. Like if you listen to like 1982 flipping hip hop, and you listen to like 1992 hip hop, and you see how much has evolved in years, and then you think about like other genres of like rock music that are like the same, or like folk music or whatever. They haven't had that kind of development because.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Everything is a bit like rap itself just makes it all competitive in it. Like who has the best verse and whatnot. And that's why, like in other genres, so like in the studio, there's so many people writing to make a song better. In rap, you could be right. Like, what you mean? Someone gave you a bar. You're biting. No. He's looked at. He's so mad. There's a big difference. It's a big difference. Whereas an R&B song or a jazz song or whatnot, there's so many writers for it.
This is it. Like I do admire the fact that it's flipping. What should we call it? That it's 2023, and like we're still not out here respecting people who don't write their own bars.
Yep.
Fucking love it.
Yeah, we don't. It's mad. And some people be like, "Oh, but he wrote a song." Like I remember when it was all about who wrote. Drake doesn't write his own stuff, and Drake's like, "I've got writers for my pop musics and whatnot, like but not for my rap verses." But still, the minute people heard someone wrote for Drake, no way. But it happens in other genres all the time. It's bad.
Yeah, and it fucking makes sense to me that you'd like bring someone in if you're making like a fucking pop hit, like, but But it's like even the people who are making pop hits, like most of them, there is this whole concept of the industry plant and that these days. But like normally, like flipping, like even recently, if you look at like people like Nicki Minaj or something, they're a pop star now. But they had to be a dope rapper to get that back in to be the pop star.
Exactly. They had to get that respect. They had to write their own bars. They had to be dope. They had to be dope. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So like 2006, you came to like London.
Yeah.
How did you sort of like find yourself integrating into like a sort of hip hop in London? Like did you find were you like trying to check out local stuff, or were you still like mainly like listening to American stuff? And
do you know what? It was strange, man. I always try to check out local stuff. But you know, it is like number one, big change in accent because I'm always hearing American.
Yeah.
And I'm learning English more by looking up translations to what I'm hearing, and I'm hearing things in American accent, which was a lot easier my ear was just more trained for the American accent.
Yeah, and like you're watching American movies as well, and that kind of thing. Like there's more
Portugal.
of that other media to give you the extra context to the words.
Exactly. So in Portugal, you grow up, you're listening to American music, American movies, and the subtitles while we're watching movies in Portugal. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're watching American movies with subtitles, and once I knew, okay, one day my mom's gone to London, and I know I'm going to go to London within a year or so. I started trying to pick things up and whatnot here and there, not heavy. But so now when I remember I come here and I was at the park one time and someone said to me, I was with my little brother. Someone said to me, "Is that your brother?" And I said, "Huh? Is that your brother?" I couldn't understand what he said. And he said it about 4 or 5 times. And then he hit me like days later. Brother, if he had said, "Is that your brother?"
Yeah.
I would have known. That is my brother. That is my brother. Like, do you know what I mean? But so at first was adapting to the English accent at first. And I think I started my accent, me trying to speak English, my early memories, me trying to speak I sounded a lot more American as well. And then like he was strange, and then I couldn't understand grime. Everything was on grime back then. So I
2006 grime and all, like,
bro,
like the most aggy version of it. Fucking like movie 2000 on fucking Music 2000 on a PlayStation 2.
So
Fruity Loops 1.
I'm listening to 50 Cent and whatnot, and then you tell me to go and listen to someone repeating the same word 4 or 5 times. What's going on here? Why is he so angry? What I don't like. Why is it so fast? I can't understand it. I couldn't understand grime. Eventually, once my ear started getting trained to the English accent and whatnot, again, took me a while now. I mean, 2009. That's when I think I started learning. Like I learned like how to speak. I could have a conversation with you within a year. I learned pretty fast, and then it took me probably another year to adjust the accent a little bit. And my accent was still strong.
Yeah.
But it sounded a bit more British.
Yeah.
So by 2008, I'm sounding a bit more British. But it's still strong. You still can tell that my accent is strong. By 2009, okay, let me go back to grime now, because I put it aside because I couldn't understand it. I put it aside. Let me just listen to rap. Okay, I understand I started understanding grime, where it came from and whatnot, and the grime clashes was just like the Jamaican clashes and whatnot. Okay, cool, I get it now. And I understand that this is about being a stage show man and rocking the crowd and getting the crowd participate. Like I started understanding that, and it wasn't as fast for me. I could pick it up a bit more, but at first was so foreign to me, man. Like grime was my first introduction to grime. Was, yo, this is too. I can't get it. I don't get it. But yeah,
this is the thing, like, because like, you know, like how like flipping hip hop was like, it was always about like making a song or whatever. Like grime was like MCing over a rave beat, wasn't it? Like, you know, which is a completely different concept, because it is all about energy and hype, and it come from jungle.
And sometimes that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes they be repeating the same bar 4 or 5. What's wrong with the Don? Yo, what's wrong with the Don? They're repeating the same thing over and over the night. Where's the flows and the punchlines? And I didn't get it. I didn't get it. And then I started going, oh, is the way he landed on the beat, is the way is mixed with the DJ, the way he caught the drop over there and what. Okay, I picked it up after. All of that, I understood it way after. But at first I didn't get it. But yeah, man, it's which is mad. Like when I was literally, when I first came, I couldn't speak no English, and then went through the process of actually learning and whatnot. And it's mad, like actually going through. It took me a while, like so. I think I started understanding grammar around 2009 and whatnot. And I think, and that's probably, but I still never wrote no grand bars or ever. Like I think the first verse I ever wrote was more probably around 09, 08, 09 in English. And it was more like rap and whatnot. And again, like my accent was so strong, man. It's mad. It's mad.
Yeah. This is just what I keep going back to this, how much it fascinates me, like being able to express yourself in another language, because it's not the same as being able to speak another language. Like I used to work in Carnarvon. It was an all Welsh speaking office, and fucking like while I was there and I was around it all the time, I could communicate in Welsh, but it was that process of like hear what they say, then in my head I've got to think what they said, fucking figure out what I want to say back in English, and then translate it over, and then I'd say it in a really basic way.
And that's literally how I used to. That's literally my process. I would think about what I'm going to say, then one day someone asked me, "What language does your brain think?"
That was going to be like one of my next questions, like.
And I thought that is mad, because for a long period of time, even though I'm writing in English, even up until I started battling and whatnot, my brain still thought in Portuguese. And that's, if your brain thinks in Portuguese, that's your primary language. Like that's your instincts going straight into, like that's a big thing. Like, so my brain's thinking in Portuguese, so I'm constantly in my own thoughts in Portuguese and whatnot. With my mom and brothers, I'm speaking Portuguese, and then it started being a lot mixed. I'm mixing in English now.
I suppose like when you're like when you start thinking in a language, that's when you start like getting the ability to develop wordplay and things, and you start making those connections and like thinking about things in terms of imagery and that.
Yeah, I start thinking in English now. I think a lot more in English now. Every once in a while, a word would pop in Portuguese and whatnot. And I remember now when I go back to Portugal, and as you're walking on the street and you hear people talking and whatnot, you don't think that. And every once in a while, I hear someone talking in Portuguese as I'm walking on the street here, and I'm like, I heard Portuguese. Do you know what I mean? So now when
when you're walking down the street and you smell weed from somewhere, like you just
there you go.
I know that smell.
Exactly.
I know that language.
Literally the same thing. Literally the same thing. So now when I go back to Portugal, and now my background is talking in Portuguese. At first, I'm like, and I'll now be like, I'm going to the shop. I'll grab my stuff. I'm walking. I get into the shop and I say, "Excuse me," and then I'm like, I'm not in London. Why am I saying "excuse me"? And then I have to. So it's thinking about it's mad. And then I have to adapt to being over there for a period of time. Then come back and it's the same thing, readapting to being over here. It's mad, man. But yeah, it's also. I always say like it's a good skill to have, man. It's a good skill to have.
Yeah, flipping it's more than a skill, like flipping. Like I say, like flipping, like most people can't like even understand the concept of like the wordplay and the imagery and like how things are put together in like any rap, not just battle rap. Most people can't do that in one language, so to be able to do it in like multiple is insane. Like
it's dope. And I think like I grew up speaking Portuguese. Obviously I was born in Portugal, grew up speaking Portuguese, and then we used to watch Spanish cartoons. So my Spanish was very fluent. as well. Like my Spanish was great. Way before I ever learned English.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then my parents, they like my dad's from Cape Verde, which is from African colonies and whatnot. Like my mom's from Guinea-Bissau, and over there they speak Portuguese, but they have their own Creoles as well.
Yeah.
And then at home they would speak their own Creoles, and I would learn that as well. So, and it actually is actually mad because it makes your brain so trained for languages that I understand a lot of French. Can't speak it though. I understand a lot of French. I understand a lot of Italian, but I can't speak it. So because there's certain keywords that I'm gonna pick up out of your sentence, and I'm gonna pick up what you actually tried to say. So, or what you actually said. Do you know what I mean? So it makes your brain so developed for other languages that it's sick. It's sick. Like when I was in America, when I went to Miami, one side of Miami only spoke Spanish. Okay, cool. Then we only speak in Spanish, and I was cool. I could translate to all my friends and whatnot. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, man, it's a good skill to have, man.
Yes. So sort of, when did you find yourself getting into battle rap? Was it more American stuff you got into first, Smack DVD kind of thing, or was that a bit later?
Yeah, definitely Smack DVDs. Our first battle was Murder Mook and Serious Jones. That was my first battle I ever watched, and then I watched Mook and J Mills and Party Out Loud. But just watch a lot of American stuff. Then I used to watch a lot of Arsenals, and like once URL kicked off and whatnot. And my first UK battle I've watched was Tony D versus Ilmac. That was the first Don't Flop battle I came across, and it's like, oh, this happened here.
Yeah,
this guy sounds British. It's mad. And then I forgot. I didn't know what the channel was or whatnot. Yeah. Couldn't find it again for a period of time. And then one time I went to an open mic thing, and they had a battle there, and it was Wilsey. Wilsey was battling someone. Wilsey destroyed the other guy, and I was like, that guy is cold. Like the way you know what Wilsey was battle rap poise. You knew the battle rap ethical already. When the other guy wasn't a battler, no nothing. Wilsey destroyed him. Like knew when to pause and whatnot. He had all the swag. I'm like, wow, this guy's cold. And I didn't get to speak to Wilsey that day. And then I came across him on YouTube. And then that's when I found kind of UK battle rap type thing.
Yeah. It's just such a fascinating story, and I don't think it's been told. Like,
yeah. Not many times. I think I think I spoke about briefly on when I went to Bagnall's and Quill's podcasting, but not too into these. But yeah, like that's how I got into battle rap, and yeah.
We'll pull it up today because a significant thing that we can't miss is the plug series of events. This is like sort of your series that you've been curating for like Premier Battles, and I think it's been like a key turning point in Premier Battles history. I think the plug events are when people stop talking about Premier Battles as shotties thing, and started talking about it as Premier Battles. I think the events and like the kind of battles you've been booking have had this expansive thing that's given it like much more significant recognition in its own right, whilst like keeping the plug as a specific thing. Like
it grew a lot, man. I didn't expect it to be this big, to be fair. I didn't. And it's mad. I don't know. I think it was the time because Premier Battles had done events in London before that. I don't know. Like I think it was just the timing, and I don't know what it was. Like Briggsy hit me up, yo, like I want someone to join a team that's in London and whatnot, and get some more battles popping over there. Would you want to jump in that? And I'm like, that's not something I know how to do. And Briggsy, I feel like you can, man. I feel like you'll be all right, man, and whatnot. And then I work with Briggsy a lot. Like I learned the game from him a lot. Do you know what I'm saying? And then we just bounce ideas. And for a period of time, like we almost like spoke like every day, like bro, like what about this one? What about this? And I just learned the game from him type thing. Some things work, something I understand what works for Prem, what doesn't work for Prem.
Yeah.
I understand the direction they go in, their end goal and whatnot, and just try and work accordingly and what Prem can afford to do, what Prem can't afford to do. And yeah, just worked accordingly. And it's only been a year. Like so the other day I was thinking about it. It's only been a year because I started like my first event was 2nd of July last year.
Yeah, was that the Shuffle Shotty one?
Nah, that was Tony and Bizzo.
Ah, yeah, that's the one in the Fiddlers.
Yeah. Tony and Bizzo. That's my first event last summer.
Well, was that the first battle you booked for it and all? Like, what was your first battle that you booked?
Bobby Rex and Rivers.
Yes,
that was the first. I was proper proud of that one. Like proper proud of that one. Bobby Rex Rivers. That event was fire. Obviously, I had a few. Also Tech versus Frost. That event. Tony D and Bizzo. Yeah, man, that event was sick. And even then, like the energy that day, like I don't know, like I don't know what it was, but the energy that day was sick. Like obviously we sold out Fiddlers before the day, so there was a few people outside still trying to get in and whatnot. I was like, right, and I was happy, like okay, first event sold out Fiddlers Elbow, great, like sick. Then did plug 1.5 because Rivers didn't make plug 1, so we had to. I wanted to make sure Rivers and Bobby happened, and then we got KJ visual on there and whatnot. And then plug 2, November that year, which was Gemini, the return of Gem. And I wanted Gem as soon as I got the opportunity to do the event and whatnot. I phoned Gem. I wanted Gem to be on plug 1, like, and we just didn't work out opponents and whatnot. And then got him to headline plug 2 because Gem lives around the corner. I knew Gem way before battle rap. He lives not far from each other. I mean, so yeah.
Flipping, it's been incredible to watch. Like, and flipping, I think like Prem has developed a lot as a result. Like you say, they've done things in London before, and I think that's where Briggsy was clever in bringing you in, because like the previous events they've done in London, it felt like the Manchester League is doing an event down south. But like,
I don't know. I still don't understand why that is, though. I still don't understand because I was at some of their events in Manchester, and they'd be good events. That all the smoke, the match days. I remember Rivers versus Yunnan. Like they had some good events, but I don't know. Like I don't know if it's the timing of the web battle, and also the battles. Like Tony D and Bizzo's a big battle. Like like Bizzo was the champ and whatnot, and I don't know, like something to do. I don't know, something about the timing of when those battles happen. That I don't know, the energy on those buildings been crazy, and I think ever since then we've had like a battle of the year contender in most battles in London. Like I think most battles in Prem period this year, to be fair, but
I think every plug event had at least one battle. You could argue that this is the battle of the year that it took place.
Nah, definitely, yeah.
That's a hell of a fucking achievement. Like going from like your first fucking event on, like,
bro. Like when I was thinking about it, like the battlers that have touched the plug, and when I think about like Tony D, Bizzo, Gemini, Bobby Rex, KJ, Visual, Shuffle T, Shorty Horror, like twice. That nigga Shorty's coming on. Think like Shuffle, Briggsy himself, Tech, Frost, Quill, like Frankie. That's so many Scoop, like so many high caliber battlers have battled on the plug.
Yeah, and you've got the outside the box ones and all things like Random and Lazy.
Yeah, that's Random was said it was coming over and whatnot. And we've put Random and Lazy. Yeah, it's been, and Random had a great show in that. That was a great battle, I think. Actually, that was a good battle, man. Yeah, nah, definitely, man. It's been dope, and I think that's it. It's kind of sparked a little thing in battle rap as well. Like, just people just want to be a part of the plug now. Like, to a point where I was gonna do other little events, smaller events for tryouts and whatnot in London, and I thought, nah, I think we need to protect the name plug now, and we call it something else then. So I started short circuit more for the smaller events.
Worth shouting that out. Like flipping, I said, like we've got our DF thing that like that's just going to be like tryouts, and I'm turning up because I'm in the house. That's 26. Yeah. We've also got a short circuit going on then. What do you call it? 26 in London.
August 26. Yeah, August 26.
Engine Rooms.
Yeah,
that's
engine rooms.
Venue. I love the engine rooms.
Yeah, I haven't been there in years. I haven't been engine rooms in years, but yeah, engine rooms. August 26. Got Georgia Roots versus Crow Tech versus Caveman. It's a good card. It's a decent card, man.
Yeah.
Dojo and Lord Benton are seeing the new guys putting money up and whatnot. They've got like £400 on the line now and whatnot. So
yeah, flipping. We're seeing a lot more of that. Flipping people betting on stuff like and like.
Yeah.
Do you think that like that comes from like the sort of culture that the plug when it was the Wiretap brought in with the face-offs?
I think so, because then, like, you know, when everyone's talking, everyone's arguing and whatnot. Oh, I'm the best. And you know, when money comes involved, okay, well, I put this money up.
Yeah.
Okay, now, all right, like he believes in his material that much. What are you gonna do? All right, I'll put that much. Okay, let's battle for that then. And it starts with I'll put £100, or they put £100. Winner takes all. So you win it. You go home with 200, and then someone else goes, do you know what? I like that. I'll put 100 on top of that for whoever wins. And then someone else came. I put another 100 on top of that for whoever wins. And then it became 400 on the line. I'm like, right, okay, cool, sick. But yeah, it becomes like it's from being confident on your material. And once someone asks you publicly as well, I put this amount of money.
It's hard to back down from that. Like,
do you have confidence
no
in your
way
material?
of like refusing that bet without looking like a pussy.
Yeah, that you don't believe in your material as much, or what's going on? Like, yeah.
Fuck it. It's the greatest fear for someone like me, because I'm more like concerned with like doing something weird and out there and memorable than something that's necessarily going to get a judge decision.
Yeah, that's true.
Like sometimes I'll go like, yeah, fucking people won't like this, but it'll be fucking crazy. But it's not always going to get you wins. So like fucking, I'm not one of those betting guys, but there's a competitive spirit about, and I like to see it.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially with the new guys as well. I like it more like when it's the new guys, because they hungry to get their name up. And you see that progress, and then next thing you know, you put them on a card. Like I think Dojo and Lord Ben, like short circuits have been small up until very small up until this one. And for them, we on a card with Georgie Roots now. Georgie Roots has battled Tony D and has done this and has done that. Oh, sick, we're on a card with Tech. We're on a card. So for them, they get excited that they're on a card with a bit more experienced guys and whatnot. And yeah, man, it's dope to see. It's dope to see.
Yeah. And obviously we've got to talk about the plug 4.
Yeah, big
Shotty and Twerk. Fucking, how did you feel when you locked in Shotty versus Twerk?
Do you know what? Like I said, shortly after Shotty versus Shuffle, Shotty said like we can do one more. And I tweeted, and I went to that tweet afterwards. I tweeted, my dream matchup is Shotty versus Twerk on the Steel Yard. This is before any negotiations was going on, nothing like, and we was going through opponents and whatnot. And when we made, that's my dream matchup. I don't think people understand that. Like Twerk and Shotty are both my favorite battlers right now. Active favorite battlers is Twerk and Shotty. Twerk, Shotty, Gem, like these lot are two of my favorite battlers. So for them to be going head to head, and then just seeing a lot of the Americans also saying, "Oh shit, I'm flying out for this just to come and watch." Like Jazz the rapper saying she's coming down just to watch. She's like, a few people are coming down just to watch. Like the excitement was crazy. So having that battle and then it just started getting even better. Cold J, real sick. Like it just, yeah, it's been sick. It's been sick. I'm mad gassed about that card. I'm mad gassed.
Yeah, flipping, what's it called? What was it? Premierbattles.club. You can get tickets for them from.
Yeah, premierbattles.club.
Yeah, so hit up that for the fucking tickets. I'll tell you what, we'll wrap it up there. But this has been a fucking ace conversation. I love this.
Definitely. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate you. Not like I said, like not many people come to me as the interviewee, so you know, it's always dope.
Yeah,
always dope.
I was just thinking the other day, it's like how I've only ever really seen you like interviewing other people or in face-offs when you've got a very specific thing you've got to talk about. And...
Yeah, exactly. Nah, it's dope. It's been dope. It's just been sick, and I love your setup in here as well, though. Sick.
Hey, safe. So, what's we call it? Where everyone needs to follow you. Do you want to let them know?
Yeah. YouTube.com/the official plug TV is there on the name. It's pretty much that everywhere. On Instagram, it's not that everywhere actually. On Twitter, it's Troubz PLG, and yeah, that's it, man. Just make sure you lot hit the like button, hit as well, and subscribe to Kinell if you're watching it. You know, Sinister Cinema.
Is right.
Come on, it's right here. So if you're watching this and you're listening to me, just follow and subscribe in it.
Yeah. Oh shit. Well, fucking thanks for that. I hope everyone's enjoyed that episode. If you're here for the films mainly, we'll be back on That Kind of Flex next week. And we'll be moving into Fright Fest, so there's going to be lots of that going on. But I like to have a little I like to keep it rap occasionally.
Yeah,
so yeah.
What's your favorite film, by the way? Just quick.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
Okay. I don't know. I'll check that out.
It's fucking wild, man. Fucking from 1982, still holds up. But yeah,
sick.
This has been the KSC Podcast. Peace.